I'm Robert Barefield, and this is Carole FitzPatrick. We're from the voice faculty, and our wonderful colleague, Professor Emeritus Eckart Sellheim, at the keyboard. And we've collaborated many times, but this is our first YouTube video together.
It is.
And the reason we're doing it is because we're very proud of this recording, which is just being released by Cavalli Records. We recorded it in Bamberg, Germany, and it's called 2+1 Duets for Soprano, Baritone with Piano.
We have a huge variety of repertoire on this. We're so excited about the various composers that we're singing. We're singing Mendelssohn and J.C. Bach and Tchaikovsky and
Rimsky-Korsakov,
Massenet, Britten, Stephen Foster, and our colleague James DeMars, who took a piece from an already existing work and rewrote it for us for this project, and so it's a very exciting part of the whole project for us.
That's the tango.
The tango.
Yeah. We also have, well, we talked about the Russian pieces, but the French.
Massenet, Chausson, and Saint-Saëns.
And I have the feeling those three French pieces really give us...
Donizetti as well.
Donizetti, yeah. That's really
But you're right, the French pieces really capture our collaboration
That's
in the
right.
way I think they do.
That's
Yeah.
right. We feel very, very strongly about that concerning language. And then we didn't talk about Cornelius.
Cornelius, I always forget about
You know, I'll be honest, I was ambivalent about the Cornelius when we recorded it. But now that I listen to it, I just think we really, I like them much more now that I'm listening to it.
Yeah. Love songs, written very early in his career, and
written specifically for baritone and soprano.
And the middle one, Eckart, you play, I don't know, are you supposed to be the wind or something?
Yeah.
He is the wind at the keyboard, I have to say. You must listen to that. That's brilliant. Play. I listen to that.
Well, we have to be careful not to become a sandstorm. Just a German wind in the South German plains. It's different from...
It's so hard to sing with a sandstorm going on, I have to say.
Yeah, we had a wonderful time during the recording sessions in Bamberg, in this old German city, with a lot of medieval artifacts and buildings, and located high above one of those smaller rivers, and we did it in a private studio. It was a wonderful time.
It really was.
No matter what the outcome will be of this, well, meanwhile, done recording, but the time was just beautiful.
It really was.
And one thing I think is important, and Carole and I realized this as the project evolved, as voice teachers, we primarily teach sopranos and baritones just the way genetics work or something.
That's right. There are more sopranos and baritones
than there are tenors and mezzos, and so these duets are, I think, going to be very useful in our teaching when we have a young baritone and a young soprano who want to learn to collaborate together and perform together. This repertoire is not often performed, and so we're hopeful that it will be used that way too, as a pedagogical tool.
Exactly. It's music that, for the most part, there's some things that are somewhat difficult, but for the most part, it's repertoire that is accessible for young voices, and so we hope that it will be used that way.
Yeah, most of those pieces are not even published nowadays.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah, the majority are from treasures, from libraries, from private collections.
You're right.
A lot from your private collection, in fact.
Also.
It's interesting because the composers are composers everyone knows, Tchaikovsky and Benjamin Britten and Ralph Vaughan Williams, but these pieces are not as well known.
That's right. Mendelssohn, I mean, for that matter, yeah. But actually, the Mendelssohn are the most known of the duets, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Most recorded.
They have been printed and reprinted a lot of times. But I think Christian Bach, that was really from an unknown collection, and we had to make up our own embellishments and
make
them up. He wrote them, and then we tried to make them sound spontaneous. We had to do as I recall, we did a few takes of that one.
Do you think?
I do. That's my recollection.
We did so many takes of that one particular song.
Should we talk about this project which is coming up now, the mixture of the duets with solo?
Well, that we are going to kind of go on a tour, and hopefully more than one. We hope to take this repertoire on the road.
Yeah, and we're blending this repertoire, some of this repertoire, with a couple of solo pieces. Rob is going to sing An die Ferne Geliebte, by Beethoven.
The first song cycle.
The very first ever song cycle.
Mm.
And I'm going to sing the Ariette oubliée by Debussy, and one in each half, and so it's going to make for an interesting concert, I think.
I told Carole last night, Ariette oubliée means forgotten arias, forgotten songs, and I'm glad I don't have to sing it because I'm always afraid I'm going to forget my words, and I think if I sang something named Ariette oubliée, it would be a surefire screw up.
Yeah, sort of predestined.
Yeah, it would happen.
Yeah, both song cycles or groups of songs really very, very, very special to all of us.
Beautiful
And,
music.
Yeah, and the Beethoven, as we just discovered in the rehearsal, is never going to be finished. There's always things to be discovered, and it's such a great music. And
It really
as
is.
Rob just pointed out, the very first true song cycle. 6 songs, individual songs, but you cannot take out a single one there without destroying the meaning of the cycle.
Sure.
They have to be performed
And
together.
the shape and the groupings, and of course Ariette oubliée, pretty much the most sensuous of all Debussy songs on text of Verlaine, and that speaks a lot. Debussy caught the language and the implications of the language,
They really do.
the sounds of
Yes.
this language, the musical sounds
true.
of this language like nobody else.
Very atmospheric. Those are some of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
And written very early in his career. And what are the poets of the other group? Yeah, the Mendelssohn duets. That's one is Klingemann, the other 2 duets by Hoffmann von Fallersleben, who actually wrote the German national anthem.
That he
Really?
knows that is.
I thought he was going to ask me that first.
I
I
was
thought if
afraid.
Eckart Sellheim's asking me a question, I'm in trouble.
No, that's not. But here he really, I mean, the German national anthem is a very patriotic song, but here Hoffmann von Fallersleben came down with very atmospheric little pieces.
Yeah, they're about nature and,
Yes,
and,
nature.
And
and
funny, I think. I think the one's funny.
bugs
Yeah.
and birdies
Yeah,
and things.
the bugs want to dance, and the birds, I mean, they're very...
The Käfer, the little
Käfer.
bug brought his
Yeah.
wife.
He brought his wife.
He
the
brought
bug.
his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mendelssohn Bartholdy has really put this into a very cute,
Charming.
Yeah, very charming.
little duet. And what are the other poets? I keep forgetting.
Of course, Alberto Rios,
Yeah.
who wrote the text for
Faculty, yeah.
Listening In Tonight,
Mm.
is, I believe he's a faculty member
Yeah,
he is.
at ASU.
And the Britain, you know, is based on existing American
Yeah.
folk
Folk
songs,
songs.
so it's
Appalachian.
yes. So there's "Soldier, Won't You Marry Me" and "Old Woman" we sing, and she does.
I'm the old woman.
She does a voice that'll wake you up, and they're timeless pieces. I find them all over the internet. But he's of course added his unique personal
Right.
twist to the proceedings.
And the Stephen Foster were arranged for us
They were.
by James DeMars. Beautiful, very familiar Stephen. One is very familiar, quite familiar, and the other one's a funny kind of song that we're ending the concert with. And is it the last one on the
ends the
CD?
CD too.
Yeah.
Yes. Mr. and
And
Mrs. Brown.
Mr. and Mrs. Brown, and it's funny. It's about a man who comes home drunk, and his wife says, "How can you do
She's
this?"
not pleased.
No, but she also says that his friend has been over visiting while he's been
That's your
gone.
way of getting back at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rob, you have to do a hiccup.
Yes.
Several
That's,
times.
Yeah.
Good that it's at the end of the concert.
Yeah, and I think Jim DeMars added some extra hiccups from the original. I think he liked it. You know, we should mention too that this wonderful booklet that Cavalli prepared for us has an extensive essay called "The Art of Duetting" by our colleague Sabina Feiss. And yeah, it has
a
a
wonderful
wonderful article and just really an article. It could be a journal article that she wrote specifically about this repertoire and about the art of duetting. So that's another rare and wonderful thing.